Yep.
Okay, so annually we have to blow down this tank. We need to change the injection point. So this is the chlorine comes through this from this pump, through the tubing to this injection point, and this gets threaded in here. So once a year we have to take this out, and we need to change that point on it. Because as you can imagine, when the water is coming in, you can see in there that the raw water comes in and touches that injection point, and it gets oxidized, so a bunch of garbage builds up on it. I don't know if we can see that on the video or not, but inside there, that injection point is right there. And so organics build up and clog that. If they clog that, then the chlorinator stops working. So just like in a big city, they have to clean their ports. This is one port we have to do every single year. If we don't do that, we run the risk of causing damage to the equipment, etc. We program the unit based on water quality, so how fast or slow we're adding chlorine to the water would be dependent on the water. So if the water had more organics, we want more chlorine. It's pretty simple. But we test it to make sure that at the bottom of this tank we have a residual chlorine, not too much, which can burn out the carbon, and not too little where it's not doing its job. We can always switch this system from a chlorine system to a hydrogen peroxide system. Hydrogen peroxide is sometimes preferable if there's not a bacteria in the water. But, that's again, in our market we have so much bacteria that we find that hydrogen peroxide is not the best solution. Okay? Obviously this goes in before the water softener, so we want this to take the brunt of the water. In the event that the water is really bad, Bill, you had a case where we had high levels of chlorine or of high amount of iron, and so what we do is in that case we would put a green sand plus filter in between here.
How many parts of iron do you think that would be appropriate?
We find that this handles about 3 to 4, depending on the volume of water, how many people are in the home. It could handle maybe up to 5 if they don't use a lot of water. But so if we have 5 parts per million and a large family, we're going to need to add a green sand filter. So it's a lot is dependent on how much water people use and how fast they use the water. So that helps us decide, do we need a green sand or not a green sand? Green sand is a great filter that can pull out extra iron. Right? And that's about it. Oh, 1 second.
Now knowing that green sand dechlorinates, could you just do a green sand?
No, not on residential. No. It's just too inaccurate. Yeah, it's not a great dechlorination product. We could do it for maybe irrigation. This is the inside of the water softener or the filter valve. So what happens here is the water, in this case, comes out the top of the valve and sprays down through the filter material. Here, it went down through the distributor and out. So we reverse that on this carbon filter is we're spraying it in the tank, it falls through the filter material, and you can actually see that the filter material starts there, right? Mm-hmm. So that's where the carbon and ag start. And as it passes all the way down to the distributor, it then comes up the middle and out the back. So I wanted to show you that this is how we get it to spray in that tank, is we use what's called an upper collector, and it disperses the water around that distributor that's inside there. Okay? You guys understand that? Mm-hmm. Great. The reason why you can see the filter material starts here and not all the way up to the top, it's not because we're cheap, it's actually because that's what's required. Because this filter material captures particles. And if we filled it all the way to the top with filter material, there's no what's called head. So as we clean this filter material, we push water down the distributor, and it comes up through the distributor, and it reverses the flow of the water inside this tank, and that filter material starts to lift. And we need the room for this filter material to lift so it can sort of let go of itself. What happens is you fill this with water, it starts to compact over time. So then when it goes to its cleaning cycle, it lifts it up and it freshens it up and it releases all the junk out of it and it gets back up to this high level. So that's what regeneration means, is we are cleaning the filter material, making it ready for to filter once again. So that's about it on a chlorinator, to teach you guys a little bit about our chlorine system or hydrogen peroxide system. Any other questions?
I like it. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's how it works.
But yet I was selling them.
Right?